Hey everyone, Sakuriyasant here, and welcome to another episode of Pointy Chins, where I take you through my art journey. So, picking up where we left off last month, here's Kay. I fleshed out the design a lot more, and I was pretty satisfied with this one at the time anyway. And I was thinking of a logo for Yummy Company, the company she works for, and I wanted something sort of sinister, because originally I had things very friendly with her, but the more I thought about her character, I was thinking about this idea of making a mascot for DeviantArt that was suggested to me. And the more I thought about it, it's like, well, if it's something I like, this character is not going to be too happy because I don't really enjoy that as much. I guess I don't relate to it. So I started getting things darker. This one looks like a toilet. And so for Yummy Company, I was thinking of sort of having her case seem friendly, but Yummy Company is not quite so nice. And so I thought of like a cat. And then this one, I was like, yeah, maybe. And then I did this one, and I thought, yeah, that looks nice. And then, yeah, so settled on this one, even though this one is This is the first one I tried, and then tried to replicate it, and it's like, yeah, but this one seems better. And some alien guy, I didn't know, like, if there are just aliens that go around, and what would they be like, and I thought of just basic shapes, teardrop, got 3 eyes, different mouths. I'm not saying any of these will be in any universe of K, but it's just ideas, And what I did like is that there was a lot of room to explore. Here, I wanted to do a drawing of a jacket because I was not really sure about her jacket and, what does a jacket even look like? And then I just got into drawing stuff from reference for this day. And then back to Kay, working on her spacesuit again, a different alien guy, maybe having her jump, and then that ground plane, the floor mat thing, I added like speed line thing so it looks like she's jumping, and I thought, yeah, that looks kind of cool. And then the logo again, and the design if things were darker. And here's some more drawing from reference, and I kind of go between this and K because I get a bit tired of drawing the same character over and over again, and it's like, okay, let me work on this, and also I'm still learning. So just do stuff like that. And then I thought about the idea more of Kay. And I had this idea where the entire... If it was a story, not saying it would be, but if it was a story, if it was a comic, the whole thing would be told through the perspective of this drone, this camera drone that follows her around. And here are different concepts of what that could look like. I wanted it to be very simple and easy to draw. And I settled on this one. Sort of looks like a webcam. And the reason is that I didn't really want Kay talking too much. And so I didn't think it would be that interesting if we just focus on her as the main character from her perspective. I thought it might be more interesting instead to look from an outside perspective. And this felt very much like what and here's an idea of the drone's perspective, where this is like what it looks like for the drone. And then and also the drone is just a camera, but there's someone on the other end watching it, and something about that felt interesting. It's like, yeah, I kind of like that. I sometimes feel like that, where I'm just an observer looking in on life and not really so much a part of it as just outside of it looking in. And so yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then I thought, oh, maybe I originally had like lines coming out of the ship, like from the engine, kind of like Tron I mentioned in the last one. But I thought that's too cliche. I don't want to be like Tron. I'll just make it dots, like balls that come out, boop, 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 boop. Sort of like, I don't know, fish bubbles, like, I don't know, something like that. And then just drawing different, perspective shots and working on the engines more. And I think we called it a pulse engine. Sure, whatever. You can call these things anything. And an idea of, shot again, framing and perspective and thinking of stuff like that. Here's the drone camera thing, and I thought it has like the same logo on the back as Kay does. And this is what it looks like in a small view. See, this looks friendly, and it's got a smile like the ship. I kind of like the juxtaposition of these friendly looking things. Like the ship is very friendly, but not so friendly stuff goes on in it. And then here's her with the drone. It's very small. And working on the design with her, without the jacket, what does she look like? Again, the Yummy Company logo. And then putting her in poses to see if I could. And I don't know, this one's very broken. But just, trying to do stuff from imagination and trying to make it more like the stuff I was doing when I was using reference, trying to retain as much knowledge as I could from that. And then here I was trying, again, the same thing, using these wireframe things to get better with volume and form, and to remind myself more than anything to be thinking like this, like, think of the figure in 3D. Think of the figure in 3D. Don't let it get 2D. Don't let it get static. You're not just drawing a flat object, even though you're drawing on a flat piece of paper. You need to create the illusion of 3 dimensions. So that was very important. And the more you do that, by the way, the more it sort of sinks into your head, because I am a lot better now than I was at that time in drawing stuff in 3D, and I don't have to create all the wireframes. It sort of comes out in my head. So I'd drawn Kay in sort of this lifting her leg up position, and for this I just looked at, I think it was a contortionist. I think they're very interesting how the body moves in very extreme ways, and then it really helps you, or it helps me see anatomy more in terms of, okay, so that's what happens with the body, or that's what it's capable of doing. And here's some Arsha stuff, and the drone. And then here, I was thinking of like compositions, just doing shots and thinking of mood and lighting. And here's Kay, I don't know, putting on a boot or something. And then here's Arsha, and thought she would like knock on the door, say something, and thinking of what would the speech bubbles look like in Kay. And I thought, well, it's not going to be rounded because everything's pointy, so maybe it's angular. Kay with the drone, Arsha being all whatever. I don't know. I thought there's weird stuff in Kay, in the story in my head anyway, and just Kay looking out the window. And I like scenes like this where the drone's sort of off to the corner and observing, but you really, I don't know, they feel interesting to me. Quiet scenes. Here I was trying to flesh Arsha out more, thinking like, well, okay, could I play around with her design a bit more? Tried variations, and it's like, nah, I don't like any of these more than the original design. So I went back to the original design, and then it's like, okay, now she needs a body. I wanted her, originally I thought of her as being like super buff. And I guess she still is sort of that way, but I didn't like this one. What the hell are you doing? So I tried to do this very simple design. Again, I really like simple designs. I think they work really well, and if you want to make them more complicated, it's not hard. Like, you can take a design like this, add a bunch of trim, add a lot of pockets and interesting little details, but keep it based on the simple design, and it'll still look very strong. But when you get away from that, when you just clutter designs, like a lot of video games do this with their character designs, and it especially changed when they moved into 3D. Like when animation was just 2D, you had to do simple designs just because a person had to draw this over and over again. To have a very complicated design is just going to be hell for an animator. But because of that, they really nailed down how to create simple, appealing designs. And then once 3D came into it and they realized, like, well, we can add as much stuff on this as we want, I think the designs kind of got lost a bit. They got a bit too convoluted. So anyway, here's Arsha again. And I was thinking of other space waitresses. This one's really but inspired by one of Flavia's creations, because she does these creatures that have these long necks and no feet. They're just like pointy spikes, and they have big hair, and she calls them cauliflowers because the hair is like resembling a cauliflower kind of. So that's like my tribute. And tutus, because I just gave her the jacket on top. And then I thought of like, okay, so there's Kay, and then maybe there's like a one that's more bitchy and thinks she's so great, and that's this one. And then I thought of, I don't know, just different alien ones, and I like this one. It feels cool. It's like, that's a funny shape. That's interesting. And then I thought of doing a guy waiter, but even though they're waiters, they're still called waitresses because, I don't know, might as well. It's kind of like you can call an actress an actor and it's still acceptable. So a guy waitress and another one, and very, stuck up and thinking he's so great. This design is terrible. This one, again, not really liking any of these other ones. This one is okay though. Sort of inspired by Bob Meatbag, but with more eyes, clearly. And so there's that. And then back to, drawing from reference. It's really good to do this. It started to, at first it doesn't feel like I'm learning that much, but after a while it starts to sink in very slowly, and okay, I'm building the forms in my head, and it's not so hard. And then here I was thinking of just basic compositions, nothing K related, just ideas of, okay, you have a frame and compose in it, and different scenes. Like I thought this is like a guy in an alleyway, and this is a cat. I don't know what the cat's doing. Like, I don't know, Super Saiyan type thing. Just characters, just framing shots, like pretending I'm a director, and where would I put the camera, and what would the shot be, and different things. Like this is just more like shapes. Like I can kind of see this as a scene with a rock formation type thing, some figures here, some more rocks, maybe in the desert or something, but outside it just looks like scribbles. And here I'm just thinking of, I don't know, just design shapes, like not even objects, not forms. And here's like a character, and then, I don't know, maybe a gravestone or something in some area. Tree. I don't know. Just whatever. And then back to drawing. I realized I was drawing a lot of girls from reference, and here's more, I don't know if it's a contortionist or just flexible person, but then I realized I'm not doing guys enough, so let me draw some guys, and I loaded up the figure drawing whatever website thing, and then was just drawing guys, and I don't know, they all came across looking they're all buff and stuff, so it's like, okay, whatever. And then back to drawing from imagination. I tend to do this. I get scared all the time. Oh, if I draw too much from reference, am I going to forget imagination? If I draw too much from imagination, am I going to become sloppy and not pay attention to learning and improving? Here's some more K stuff. And then this is a kitten we adopted, kind of rescued. It's called Chasse, and Chasse means 6 in Romanian. The reason it's not so impressive, it's just because I was trying to think of a name for her, because Flavia has her own cat, and so I guess this would have been mine, or it is, kind of, yeah. So I thought of Sasha as a name, and in North America, Sasha is totally acceptable as a girl's name, but Flavia let me know Sasha's actually a boy's name, so it's like, oh, never mind. But I still like the sh sounds. It's like, it's whatever, and then just ended up calling her Chasse, because it sort of sounds like Sasha, but not really. But anyway, sort of. And yeah, it's a sad case with her, because Flavia works for a gallery, or at least, at the time of this, she did. And her owner's son found a kitten in a fence. Someone had put a kitten in between like fence posts and put a brick on her, and I don't know, kind of psychos. There's a lot of these stories in Romania, and they really piss me off, of cruelty to animals and people just mistreating them. And so when we got her, she was super, as like I exaggerated a bit, but not much. She looks like a wasp here, but she was super skinny, and she had like a back problem. And yeah, so we got her 3 months after she was rescued. They couldn't find anyone to take her, so we ended up taking her, and now she is my cat. And she is weird, and she was shivering a lot and very, very scared. Very scared cat. But now she's good and fatter and very brave and stuff. Anyway, here's Marquet. I'm trying to do expressions, but this one really doesn't fit Kay. Like, none of these really fit to me. Like, the smile, that's the only one that fits, because that feels like that's what she does. She smiles, but it's hiding her true feelings. So if she was angry, she would have this expression, and if she was sad, she'd have this expression, and whatever, she just has the same expressions, because she's not very she's not open, she's a very closed person, and doesn't show her feelings. Here's more Chassé, and here's Flavia's cat Pisiku, and Kay in actiony poses with the drone. And at this point, I'm starting to really hate these shoes, because it's okay here, right? It feels okay anyway to me. But here, it feels like the heels are just too tall, and the platforms and whatever, and they're just interrupting with the flow. Like, I don't get a nice flow here. It's just like she's on stilts, and here as well. You know, she's jumping, but then this is just feels awkward, because this just becomes a straight. There's no curves. So, yeah, I wasn't really happy with that. And then this is a guy. I thought, that's kind of cool. And still working with it, because I figured, the design's finalized, so let me keep working with these shoes. But secretly, I actually hate these shoes now. Like, they only look good when she's standing still doing nothing. They look all right. And over the shoulder stuff, yeah. So here, I'm doing more, reference stuff, more males, and these ones at least had more going on than the other ones who were just buff and probably models posing. I mean, they're all models, but anyway. Here I felt like I wanted to get better with mouths, because I tend to not draw open mouths, and when I do, they're like this, very simplified. And I don't think it's wrong to simplify it, but I wanted to figure out more, and I looked at some reference in anime, and notice they do a lot of this, where it's just sort of indicated, and then this is the tongue, and they get rid of a lot of details. And then I tried to do it my way, which is more information, but, just simplifying things. So I did see in anime a lot of these types of mouths, and it didn't really feel like stuff I would use, so I tried to do my own variations and stuff, and more caricature stuff. I feel like I'm sort of at this point getting back to the depression. I mentioned how I was getting depressed before I made K, and briefly while I created the mascot, the K character, it felt like, okay, this is sort of something I can focus on and not really get as depressed. In between work, it's like, well, fine, I draw for work, and then I want to draw my own stuff, and I want to learn, and I don't know, I started getting depressed again, and things started to shift a bit into more caricature, and I like this one. This seems funny face, and that's why I like drawing from reference as well. You just find more faces, more interesting characters, and then Kay started getting, I don't know if it was getting more realistic or what, but this one seems very, it's almost like my style started shaking, as if I was becoming less confident and less sure of how to draw. And back to mouths, just trying different mouths. I figured, well, I won't look at reference anymore. I'll just look at, not drawings, because before I looked at some anime mouths and how are they drawn. And then I thought, no, I'll just look at photo reference of real people and then turn it into my own style. So then I'm not copying a style, I'm more interpreting it. And when I do it this way, everything just makes a lot more sense. So I thought that's good to do. And I like this person. And yeah, I don't know. I don't hate my caricature things. I just feel like, on one hand, I feel a bit like I'm cheating because I'm using photo reference, even though I'm modifying it a lot. And on the other hand, I feel like it's not really from me. It's because it's not imagination, and I don't know. So here I tried to draw different mouth views, and with Kay, and I had this idea that the mouths are sort of like this V shape all the time. And yeah, I mean, they're not the best drawings, obviously, but just ideas, exploration, and letting myself explore, and drawing different K heads and different views and some non-K heads, and I don't know, feeling, again, quite troubled, quite shaky, trying to draw some more chubby figures and adding shading and stuff, and more K. And again, fighting with the stupid shoes. And I don't know, they kept getting longer because I guess I forgot how her original design was, and it felt very annoying dealing with this character. This is from reference, and then this is probably from reference, and I guess they're probably mostly all from reference on this page. And here, just drawing crickets in action poses, and then I saw the cats moving around. I couldn't capture it because they're really quick. They always go from one pose to another, but trying to get quick gestures of cats. And then the rest is from imagination. And here I'm feeling like, oh, this one actually looked like what Chasse looked like. She sits on a windowsill, and she was still skinny at this point, getting a bit more fat, but yeah, everything's sort of boxy with her, angular, and yeah, just, you know, more K drawings. So in the next episode, things continue on this rocky road, so I don't know. I hope you tune in. I don't know, maybe, I wonder if people learn more from my failures than from my good times. It's really behind the scenes view where you do get to see both. You get to see me better and worse. So yeah, I do hope you stick around, and thanks for watching.